Hi folks, so this is just a quick video showing a good way to deal with very small numerical ranges in geometry nodes. Okay, so here we have a string, which is here, and that's being turned into a curve, and that curve is being given some geometry with this curved circle here. If I unplug it, it disappears. Then we've got a material and our output. Okay, so the problem is, if I tweak the radius of the curve circle, which is what actually dictates the thickness, you can see that even pressing Shift and then tweaking it, it's very hard to make a very small adjustment, especially if you want to make it very thin. It's kind of impossible, really, without just typing in like a numerical value. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to bring up a map range. Let's plug that one in. Let's just go back here to this. Okay, so before we plug it in, we're going to look here and say, okay, we want to have as maximum thickness this. So we're going to copy down here that same value. Okay, and now we can plug it in. Okay, so our value here is now going to let us tweak between nothing, so it disappears, and up to 1. And of course, going above 1 or below 0 makes no difference because we've got clamp here, and these are our values. So below 0 does nothing, above 1 does nothing. This is okay, but it's still not very finely adjustable. Okay, we can improve that by making this value here much bigger. So let's put it to 100. So now we have to tweak this value here from 0 to 100. 0 will give us 0, and 100 will give us this value here. That's how the map range works. Okay, so that's a lot better. Now it's very tweakable, but we have the problem that if we go over 100, nothing happens. So you accidentally go too high and you want to go back down again. Nothing will happen until you get back to 100. And then you go down and it starts to get smaller. Same thing is true for 0. If you go below 0, nothing happens. So you have to pull back to 0 and then increase to get some change. Okay. So the way to deal with that is to pull up give ourselves a bit of space here, is a color ramp. Now I'm not going to do anything with color here. Let's just put these over here. Okay, but the good thing about the color ramp is that it's got this slider here, which is the factor. And the factor goes from 0 to 1. It doesn't go above 1, and it doesn't go below 0. So however much you pull to the right, it doesn't go above 1. And as soon as you pull to the left, it goes down again. The same thing is true with 0. So now, by putting that one into the value, and we have to change this now back to 1 because this is the value it's getting is from 0 to 1. Now that's much more tweakable. Okay, and if we want to make it even more finely tweakable, we can put this to a lower value. Let's put it to this. And now we have very fine adjustment control over a very small size. Okay. So the last thing I want to show is, just to finish this off, is what we can do is we can group these together by selecting them all and then pressing Control G. And then we hook this one up here. And we exit the group. And now we have here just exposed the factor. And the rest of it is hidden away inside. What we can do is then we can go over to group here, and we can rename this to thickness. So we know what we're dealing with. And maybe one last thing we could do is to go back in here. Let's move these out of the way. Let's get another color ramp. Put that one down here. And another map range. Need a bit more space. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to say, we're going to plug this one in here, the value, and we're going to say it's going to go from it's going to go to, let's have a look. Let's just do 0.03. And let's say, and let's put in here 0.005. We hook that in there. Try that again. So now we have even a sort of extra control. Let's also expose this up here. And let's call this one over in group. Let's call this one range. Exit the group. Right, so now we have two things here. We have the thickness, and we have an extra control which will reduce the range over which that works. So if we want to be working with a very thin line, we can put it down here, this range down here. And if we want to work on a slightly bigger range, we put it up here. And of course, you can always go in and change this value here to something higher, like this. So now you're working over this range, quite fat, or this range here. So yeah, I think that just about covers it. I hope somebody enjoyed that or found it useful, and take it easy.